Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you guys the designer stuff I've gotten over the past few months. If you've watched the other designer haul videos, you'll know that I just get designer stuff pretty cheap because I buy them secondhand, whether that's online on eBay or Depop or in a physical vintage or secondhand store, because it's just a lot cheaper that way and it's easier for me to justify it to myself. So I got a lot of secondhand things again. Also, if you watch basically any of my previous videos, you'll know that my lighting is usually a bit different than what it is today because I finally invested and bought a few more lights. So this is my first time recording with them on. I hope the image turns out better than it usually is because that was kind of the point. And yeah, I'm just really excited about the lights, so I hope you guys like the result. Anyway, this time I thought I would try to just do a designer haul, but with only things from eBay, because I just wanted to see if I could, I guess, since a lot of the things that I bought in the past were from Depop. And I mainly managed to do it with the exception of the last item that I will show you guys that I got from a vintage store that I really was not planning on getting, but I just kind of couldn't help it. And let's get on to the haul. So the first thing I'm gonna try is this dress. This is by Wang, and the size on the tag is a little bit weird because it just says in that little corner size 6, and the person who listed this didn't really have any specifications about measurements or what this is equivalent to even, so I don't really know what size this is really supposed to be. It's a size 6, but I don't know if they mean like American or British or what. Anyway, the person who was selling this just described it as a small, so I just took a leap of faith, I guess, and went based on that, and I was hoping that this would fit me, and actually when I got it, which was about a month and something ago, I was shocked at how big this was. Right now, this basically fits me perfectly because I already had it altered, but it used to, like, even on my shoulders, it used to be a good chunk bigger, around like this much. It was that big. But it fits me now. It's just that because this fabric is incredibly thick and sturdy, it is very warm, but it's also not very elastic at all. It fits me so well that it's a bit hard to put on right now, but you know, that's fine. So as you guys can see, this is how it looks. It's a little bit shorter than knee length, and this is what it looks like from the side. As you can see, the dress is pretty boxy and doesn't really have much give, apart from, thankfully, it's still being slightly too big here. Otherwise I really couldn't get this on because the material is really inflexible. It really is quite warm because it's so thick, and this dress does have 2 layers to it. You have a sort of soft, I really don't know what this is, maybe cotton, but it's really soft, and I think it's just sewn in to the outer part of the dress at the top. The texture and weight and feel of this dress reminds me a lot of another dress that I own. The fabric is identical to this one, it's just that even though the other dress is a ball gown, therefore it's floor length, because it doesn't have any sleeves, it doesn't feel nearly as warm as this one does, because I've had this on for not even 5 minutes and I'm already sweating a little bit because this is really warm. It's fairly comfortable. I like the look of it, and my favorite part about this dress is actually the shoulders, because I don't know how much you can see, but it's got this black, kind of feels like leather, I don't know, but you can kind of see it in the corners, and I don't know, I just really like that little detail. Since this is actually the only dress that I got in this haul, I'm gonna try 2 things together afterwards, just a top and a bottom. So the top I'm gonna try next is a sweater by Versace. It's a medium and it's made of 100% wool, so it is fairly warm. and it's just pretty plain, I guess. The only kind of interesting thing about it is at the bottom here, it has this little metal tag, I guess, that says Versace Classic. And yeah, this is supposedly a medium. Thankfully, it fits like an extra small, not like a medium, so again, slightly weird sizing. And as you can see, because it's really obvious, the tag is a little bit messed up, but that's fine. You can still read it. It's just the very edge that's kind of messy. So I'm gonna try that next, and I'm also going to try this Miu Miu skirt that, as you can see, I think it is pretty massive to me. I know this is not gonna fit okay. I know there's just no way this fits me. This is my shoulder width. Anyway, this is a size 40, which I usually wouldn't buy because in European sizing, I'm a 32, 34. I usually wouldn't have bought something that said 40 on the tag, but the reason why I did was because in the last haul that I did, I actually got a Miu Miu dress and I really liked it, and when I got it, I was worried that it would be too big for me, but it was a 38 and it fit me like a glove. So I figured, you know, it's just one size bigger, how much bigger can that be? And I just thought to myself that if it was just a little bit too big, I would either get it altered or just wear it with a belt. Not a big deal, right? As you guys can see, the sweater fits fairly well. It's just slightly too big on my arms, but just scrunch it up, and because it's a little bit tighter here, it's perfectly fine. But size-wise, it's pretty perfect. My hips are here, so I do quite like it. I feel like this is something good to wear right now because it's still pretty cold in the UK at least, and I think it looks fairly good. I like it. There's not really much to say about it. It's just a plain black sweater with a little metal tag in the end here, and that's about it. It's pretty big, and on my waist, it's just very big. That's how much excess fabric this has for me. This is a bit much. I don't really understand Miu Miu sizing right now because a 38 sized dress fit me perfectly, which basically doesn't happen ever to me. And this skirt that's only one size bigger is this massive. How does this happen? So yeah, that's a bit disappointing. Even with a belt, this is obviously way too big. There's no way I can get away with wearing it like that, and I think it's actually so big that even having it altered wouldn't really work very well. Moving on, the next skirt that I got was this one. It's by Givenchy. It's got incredibly red pockets, and these buttons on the front are actually slightly to one side. They're not, you know, smack down in the middle, which I think looks kind of cool. This is how the skirt looks on. As you can see, the buttons really are more to one side than the other. The pockets are really screaming for attention, and the back is fairly plain. This actually fits me pretty perfectly. I just really like it because I think it looks really unusual and unique. I don't think I've ever seen another skirt like this. Apart from the super bright red pockets, it also has the Givenchy logo here, which is pretty tiny, but it's there. And it does have a sort of belt-looking detail on the side. And again, I think this is also made of wool, at least it feels like it. But because it has this softer fabric underneath, it is really comfortable. And for once, I got something that fit me. I just have one more item of clothing to share, which is these Chanel shorts. I know they're really wrinkled, but that's because I wore them once and I washed them, but I didn't iron them at all, so it's completely on me. I should have ironed them, but I didn't. I am very aware that these shorts are pretty vintage. I think maybe from the 90s or earlier. I'm really not sure, but not only was that in the description of the person who sold this to me, but you guys will see when I try it on. It's definitely vintage. In terms of details, this has just a few buttons, the one on the front and 2 on the back pockets that have Chanel Paris written on them. And I think that's about it, apart from the belt loops. They're fairly plain shorts, but I kind of have to blame Jennie from Blackpink a bit because I think her fashion is always really interesting and she looks amazing, and a lot of the stuff she wears are Chanel, so I've developed a bit of a craving for Chanel stuff. This is what the shorts look like on. As I said, appearance-wise, they're very, very obviously vintage, because nowadays there just aren't really many women's shorts that are made this long. They're not quite knee length, but they are a bit close to that. The seller that sold these to me on eBay just had pictures of the shorts themselves. They didn't have pictures of someone wearing the shorts or of the shorts on a mannequin or anything, so I bought them under the impression that they were regular length shorts. I did not realize they would be this long, so I probably will make them a bit shorter just because I can't really imagine myself wearing these out much at this length. It's too long. I wanted to love them. I still kind of like them because I can imagine them, you know, like that. I can imagine wearing them like this, but at the current length, not so much. And these shorts actually have 4 pockets that are functional pockets, so 2 in the front and the 2 ones in the back. So right now they're not the cutest looking shorts ever because they're very wrinkled and they're quite a bit too long, but after I get them shortened and ironed, I do think these are gonna look really cool. So that was the end of the haul that I planned on showing you guys. The only thing that I'm still gonna show you is the one thing I was not planning or expecting to find and buy, and that something is a Prada bag, which came in this dust bag. This is both a hand and shoulder bag. It also came with this other really tiny dust bag for the strap if you want to take it off. And it also came with this, and in this you have basically proof that the bag is real, including a Prada tag, price tags, an authenticity card, which is in this tiny envelope, and the actual receipt from when this was bought. So this is the only bag that I have that's actually authenticated. And like I said before, I really was not expecting to see this or buy it at all. It's just that in the town where I live, there are actually a couple of really cool vintage stores, and a few days ago I went to one of these stores with my boyfriend, and he just saw this sign on the wall that said, if you want to check out some authenticated designer bags, you can talk to the store clerk and arrange for a viewing. So we just decided to ask for a viewing, and we scheduled it, we went, and there was a surprising amount of designer bags. There were a couple of Dior ones, there was Zimmerman, there was a Fendi bag, which I also really liked, but it wasn't in a very good condition. All of them, in my opinion, were kind of a steal because, well, I can only give the price of this as an example because it's the only one that I actually bought. I also have the receipt for it. This originally cost £1,200, and I paid £140 for this, which is still by far the most expensive bag I own, but it is almost a 90% off discount. And in terms of condition, this is almost brand new. The only place where you can tell this is slightly used is at the very bottom. The only place where you can tell this is a little bit used is the bottom, because there's like a few scratches at the bottom from just it being on top of tables or something. So yeah, I just couldn't help myself and I just really liked it. It has this little tag which is still empty. On the sides it has these things that you can sort of like open or close to make the bag slightly bigger or smaller, and in terms of compartments it's got 6 different ones. But yeah, I'm really excited about this bag. That was everything I got this time. I'm sure the average price of things is gonna be a little bit high this time just because of the bag. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.